think people understand the true level of where the Black Stars is at. So when you're talking about World Cup, it's funny. It is funny. Some people will say you're naked, but you have to be real. You have to be real. How is Ghana not able to win the match? And you see, the longer it keeps on going on, now it's 7 matches. I don't even remember the last time that happened in our history. It becomes a mental block because we don't even know how it feels to win again. The mere fact that we took the lead against Uganda and we're never at any point sure that we'll get the 3 points, it's very, very similar to what we've seen under Otto Addo. If you look at the matches that we played, Portugal, we get back into the game, they overturn us. Against
South Korea,
we take a 2-goal lead.
We're sitting on tons.
It's very, very characteristic of what we've seen so far. Central African Republic, after we had played Nigeria, we went there, started the game well, they came back. So that confidence of even being able to hold leads is not there. And I think that's the major challenge now, because every game from now on, you see, and the FA2.
Ebusuya Fuyomo Obi Biara Akwaba Eba Wisdom TV. Ebusuya in the so yade in some fufu ebugu hene akacha yade blow yade agudie mu nsam na yade ba abosomo oye football Ghana football mu nsam na yade ba abosomo. Ebusuya ye na ye nimere onchel biara na Ghana Football Association where appointee or your coach Otto Addo, the umbo coach Ghana Black Stars. Na bra watu insawade for coach Otto Addo no obeye nsembebre Ghana Football waraka wakan some there coach Otto Addo where appointing kana appoint na damu ebu coach Ghana Black Stars da but Otino of Benedana Ghana Football Association wasana hatu nsawada for coach Otto Addo. Ni na waye nsembebre na onchel bia na nsen ye bo friendly match ya ni Nigeria bo friendly match ima Nigeria shen ekawe bien ma yetu mu ekol manoso obaye nsembebre nkoforo kada coach Otto Addo onye coach papa ontum coach Ghana Black Stars ontum for Ghana Black Stars no nko mpempendo osada ono one team no kono da me nsemi bi na obebotogwa na Abraya ni Nigeria boda me friendly match no wanche bia so ne ye ne oye Uganda no so ye no no bo another friendly match ne ye boda me friendly match ne Ghana tum she Uganda e kawe bie na Uganda fu tum so numu ekol na abraya boda me friendly match ni wi ayi no so obaye nsembebere na nka Ghana fu ye no so me nka Uganda nka Ghana be she Uganda na so ye ntum ya nhyawan de me ne ye hwehwe no neyi na wabaye nsembebere na nkofuru kada no sisia no timu no problem owo timu no osusin Otto Addo that means Otto Addo luntum mfa ensesa biara onfamba timu nim ma onamodomo oye countryman zongo do abafaye Otto Addo no ne Ghana Football Association Otto Addo bebe faye wan papa countryman zongo bebe faye wan papa na Ghana Football warakasa wakansam Otto Addo untum mfansi se biara mba Ghana Football Association mu ana so untum mfa nsesa onfamba Ghana Black Stars neyina ensama wabotogwa yidi ho abrobo ye ka ho nsam ye hwe mibisa Ghana bono obafa netampa odi efra ebusuafo ina ensembi wababotogwa na yade bro ebusuan ebe pede ebe jembo na etei ensama yade ebro iwo football ebusuan yesi aha ya Wisdom TV ebe sawde ebe share page in amahen na ebe subscribe page na eda amahen na ma wonu so wenya bi wa hwe ebusuan yada wasida abibiara no yade video tuma itum share video no de mahen na afisu itum do comment edit to comment section na say yes yami sure yami nka ho kodo na follow him na abibiara no yade nsama olutwogu oye football yade babro ebusuan yenko nkitei nsama obebotogwa de penidei ewo football yakrao baba
their energies are backing you to kind of like try to pick up.
Sometimes you need it, really.
You need it.
Yeah.
You can't just stay in isolation from the people you actually serve. And so, I mean, the results are not great. I wouldn't want to call it bad. The results are not great because apparently when we say what is actually wrong with the Black Stars, we are making them worse. So it is not bad. It's not good. It's not okay.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I hope that they are able to.
For those who have ears, they will understand what you're saying.
I hope that they are able to rediscover their form. I mean, you see, the thing is that, look, everybody knows that the Black Stars is not good. I'm sure that the guys who handle the team know that the team is not good. But
when you say the guys, you mean the coaches?
The technical team, the management members, they all know that the Black Stars is not at a level where, but if a journalist mentions it, then they antagonize the journalist. And I mean,
it's like we are bad, but why are you saying it?
It's very tiring. Exactly. It's like I know I'm bad,
but don't say it.
Yeah, because Kurt said in a press conference, was it a press conference or an interview, that he's going to lift the Black Stars from the ashes, like the Phoenix, whatever. So if you are lifting them from the ashes and I'm saying that the team is not good, why are you upset that I'm saying the team is not good? Everybody can see it. You saw it and then you mentioned it.
Yeah.
You understand? So yeah, I feel like that's just about it with the Black Stars. They need to open up a bit more. We need to be honest with ourselves. We have mentioned these things over and over and over again. I'm sure Oriku would mention certain issues around player call-ups and all of that. One of the things that is mind-boggling for me is that if Otto Addo says he selected his team and then he called up the players that came, and then he gave a late call up to Forsen Amankwa. How does Forsen Amankwa start 2 games on the bounce when he's a late call up? We need to be honest. Sometimes I feel like we
I mean, it doesn't happen anyway.
Yeah, I feel like we just blatantly lie, and people see through some of these things. And so hopefully they are able to rediscover their form. But as for the Black Stars, I mean, God will help them.
But Charlie, Kawa talks about rediscovering their form, and to be honest, there isn't any time for it, because this was the time they were supposed to recover from their form. I'm talking about knowing that you are getting into highly competitive matches after now. When I say highly, the World Cup is at stake.
Well, it's at stake, and if the qualifiers is not going to get easy, because the next trip is to Mali. Very difficult game for us.
Place.
And this was the greatest opportunity for you to try rebuild and let the players know your philosophy. This is not like a 1 week international window. It was 2 weeks, so you had ample time to at least prepare. It was more like preparing for a major tournament. You can use that period to prepare for a major tournament like the AFCON or the World Cup, looking at the number of days that you had for that international break. But just like I was saying, one thing that you need to know is the team is bad. The team is terrible. Just give yourself a new way and a new plan of getting things better. I know Kurt is a very good Christian. He's a Catholic, and resurrection comes with renewal. I'm building a point.
Okay.
Because yes, he normally posts about matters of faith and all that. And if it's not applicable in life, how then do you preach virtue and then you practice vice? When the Black Princesses were playing poorly and Mukarama Abdullahi was vilified at the Cape Coast Stadium, she decided to work better on herself. And she even said it after the game that she's glad that Ghanaians were hooting at her because they knew that is not the level she gave years ago.
Thank you. Yeah.
So she just went back to work better and come back strongly to help the team win. When Desmond Ofer had this under 20 team, after their first game, I'm sure he went online or even friends just sent him messages.
He's a young man.
Very good. Did you see the backlash?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he realized it. But we saw subsequently how the team dominated and won the hearts of many. Look at the number of people at the stadium on the final day. And it was all because the team was playing better. And they opened up to criticism. They opened up to fans watching the team. They opened up to us seeing that this is the team that we have, and then we must watch and then do what criticize as people. They've made the Black Stars more like a personal property, more like a private, policy.
Can't touch me.
Exactly. And that is the problem. If you are not willing to give the very best, then you don't even preach at all. How then do you publicize a game? And then you don't even want us to watch a friendly match. A friendly match freely. You want us to get on the app. Thank God the app didn't work that day. And they had to give us the game on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the team. If this is the vibe Otto Addo is going to give us, we like it. How the team decided to play and all that. Because it looks like he's giving some confidence to some of the players. Jeremy Opoku was rubbish during our friendlies last year. But this time around, you could see he could, stay on the ball, calmer, passing, running the channels. Exactly. And the red card we all know it was all because of a word that the referee didn't understand and he took it for, all because of disparity in location.
Yeah.
But if you look at the team, it clearly gives you an indication that these are the men we want in the team. These are the kind of guys I want. And Otto Addo, purely from a background where he likes very young players and players who are, disciplined and, do I say, much more mobile, we are going to see a lot more. But one thing that we are failing to see from him is, if any player is problematic to your lineup, you drop the person. We were playing so well. I'm not trying to attack anybody. We were playing so well. But anytime we decide to advance into very good attacking positions, Jordan Ayew slows down the game. He doesn't play like that at Crystal Palace. No, I'm coming.
Okay.
Andre Ayew came on to play as a false nine, the role that Enes Nyama was being given.
Yeah.
I don't know, during the time of the goal or before the goal came, do you see how much he dropped into his own half as far back as the final third? Not even a central defensive midfielder or a central midfielder was that deep, but he was deeper, more like a centre back, and it distorted the entire shape of the team.
Your point.
Yes, and I'm saying that Didier Deschamps has mentioned it, that Saliba plays so well for Arsenal, but he thinks that if he plays in his team, he's going to affect his style, because France does a lot of defensive work in their zone, but when you come to Arsenal, they play a lot of high line, with the exception of some games that they go extremely low blocks. For that reason, he's not going to play him. He thinks that, yes, you say Randall Kolomwani may be good, he may be better to run, better than Olivier Giroud, but Giroud makes my team complete. It's the reason why I use him, and I cannot use this player who thinks he is on form. Ukraine's coach said that when the Ukrainians were complaining why Zinchenko is on the bench, and even Arsenal fans complain when Zinchenko is on the bench at times, all because the manager thinks that it's going to affect the style of play. Why are we not able to do that? We saw the Nigerian team and how they've started building up the pieces and the blocks together. The European Championship is very close. Theory, if I say Spain are one of the teams that could possibly win it, I'm sure you even think and ask, which players are even with Spain? They don't have the names, but they have a very quality team. Danny almost slots into that team and he plays like he's the world's best, all because the team has a functional, tactical play that suits every single player for the team to work like a team and not just individual players. Hopefully, Otto Addo would work that one out. If it doesn't and decides to play players based on their name and their experience, about this number of games, and it's never going to work.
And you see, that's the thing.
Okay.
If you are going to play these players, explain to us why you are playing them.
Yes.
That's the thing. And that's why press conferences are important. Explain to Ghanaians, this is so and so and so is the reason why.
Scored actually against Dreams by a goal to this second half. We haven't updated you on this game, but it is the first leg of this particular stage in the Confederations Cup, and Dreams are down in the second half, very early in the second half actually.
I needed Dreams to go through.
Yeah, I mean it's the first leg. Let's just hope they're able to get an away goal.
Yeah.
It helps them.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's.
But like I was saying,
yeah.
There needs to be explanation for some of these things. I feel like a lot of the times, journalists, fans are left in the cold over some of these decisions, and so anybody gets up and says anything.
Okay.
And it is the reason why people go to the stadiums and then they boo players.
Yeah.
Booing players, it doesn't just start to.
Yeah.
Nobody just gets up and says that I'm going to the stadium.
It's a lot of apathy.
I am telling you,
Yeah.
nobody, and that's the reason why when you are trying to tell people to stop booing, do an introspection.
Yeah.
Look at yourself and what you are doing with the team, what you are doing with the players.
Yeah.
Because nobody gets up from their house and says, I'm going to boo players. No. In 2010, when the England team was booed in South Africa, the English fans who went all the way to South Africa to support their team did not go there because they were going to boo England.
Not at all.
After 3 bad performances at the World Cup, they felt like it was a disgrace, and so they had to boo them.
Yeah.
And even the build up to the World Cup and everything wasn't the best. They didn't have the best build up like they did in 2006 and what they had in 2018 in Russia. You understand? So that is how it works. Fans shouldn't boo players, understood, but do right by the fans.
It starts from somewhere.
By also giving them the information they need. If you go to the press conference and then you are asked, why did so and so player play for 80 minutes and then they'll explain it. Tell us why it happened.
But this one is premeditated questioning by the GFA media, asking the coach.
And that's the thing. And you see, when you are doing those things in isolation, everybody sees through it. And that's why I'm saying that it doesn't work for anybody.
Yeah.
It really doesn't work for anybody. And that's the thing. Look, there are certain players who thrive on negative energy.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, there are players who, if you boo them today, they would want to prove you wrong. So they would come back
like
stronger.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, thank you. You understand? Not many players have that level of mentality, and that's the reason why the FA must help the players. You see, the education for fun. How many times has booing players happened in this country?
Actually, very few.
How many times?
Very few.
How many times did it happen under Nyantichi? How many times did it happen under Ben Kofi? If it is happening here consistently, it is not the fans.
Almost never.
The fans didn't just get up and say, "Oh, I'm going to boo." No.
And you see the effect.
Check yourself.
The effect of it is when you lack quality in certain positions, because Baba Rahman then decides I won't play at the AFCON, and he gives you a flimsy reason.
Yeah.
And it's because the last time he wore the shirt, the people he was playing for didn't respect him.
Yeah.
And so in effect, you end up losing a lot of quality in very decisive games. Because of some of these things. So, I mean, these things have rippling effects, and we don't just sit here and talk. Oriku, I haven't heard your voice. So I'll bring you into the conversation. Come,
Players at elite level are supposed to go through this. If these players are playing top class football in the top leagues in Europe, and you think that shielding them from this, Salisu gets angry because he's being booed and he attacks people.
If you follow Kawe's point, it is not that it is the players aren't able to take it. The conversation is about how the GFA have exposed these players to some of these
that's fair enough.
Very harsh treatment by the fans, and of course the effects of the GFA and their actions is enormous. Kawa talks a lot about the communication and everything. GFA have beefed up their communications department. Now they have maybe they have like a GM, and then they have like the director, and then they have another high-ranking officer reporting to the director, and then they have some people below the high-ranking officer.
One is just for articles.
Anyway, Oreku, let me bring into the conversation. We do know that these are friendlies. I mean, Otto Addo himself said that he wanted a good result after the first friendly that we didn't get anything out of against Nigeria. So even he understands the importance of getting results at this stage of any team that is being rebuilt. You need a confidence boosting and everything. But are there positives going into the next round of games in June? Are there any positives you picked up from, or have I burst your bubble? Did you want to crash them somewhere and I'm asking you positive questions?
I think first off, we did see some good signs with regards to how the team wanted to play. That was one positive that we did see. But I think that was pretty much it. With regards to the problems that we faced, it's pretty much the same. And this is why I go back on the appointment of Otto Addo. I think he's a decent coach, but just that decision to hire another coach that has worked with you 2 years ago when you supposedly claim you want to rebuild is a bit confusing, because to me what this decision means is that you've thrown away. Otto Addo left in 2022 December. You've thrown away everything you basically did from then till now. Because going back to that same coach means that he's going back to the point where he reached in his rebuild. That's how Otto Addo is. He's not going to consult anyone on how he wants to play. It's the same level. So what you're going to see is the same naive Black Stars that wants to play in a certain way, that defensively are very, very porous. Once in a while will move the ball really well and score some 1 or 2 goals, but generally don't create enough chances. And so that's what we're seeing. This team, what we saw against Nigeria and Uganda, is the level the Black Stars would have been after the World Cup.
After the World Cup?
Yes, that in a nutshell is a work in progress. And so we've gone for an option that essentially means that we've accepted that we're in a work in progress. But the thing about being a work in progress is that at every stage in a project like this, there needs to be that winning feeling. I'm sorry, but how does the mighty Black Stars, the team that won 4 Africa Cup of Nations titles before the turn of the century, the team that was playing football so well that it was dissipating into their club football that Hasselhoff and Kotoko were dominating the continent. The team that qualified to the World Cup and got everyone talking. The team that almost made the last four. The team that was producing so many talent. How is Ghana? 7 matches, no win. 2024, we're in March, going to April, no win. And everyone is fine. And that's the scary part. The fact that no one is even panicking about the fact that Ghana are struggling to win games. And you would understand if Ghana were facing some top-tier teams. But look at the countries we've played in 2024. Even before that, we are lost to Comoros.
Yeah.
We entered the year, we lost to Namibia.
Yeah.
Lost to Cape Verde. Drew with Mozambique. And now Uganda, a team that Comoros are beaten by 4 goals to nil.
Think through the names.
The people of Uganda are saying that they should sack that coach and bring a local coach and start afresh. They should dissolve. That was the commentary after they lost to Comoros. Just 4 days before they played the Black Stars. Ghana plays this team and cannot beat this team. I don't think people understand the true level of where the Black Stars is at. So when you're talking about World Cup, it's funny. It is funny. Some people will say you're naked, but you have to be real. You have to be real. How is Ghana not able to win a match? And you see, the longer it keeps on going on, now it's 7 matches.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the last time that happened in our history. It becomes a mental block because we don't even know how it feels to win again. The mere fact that we took the lead against Uganda and we were never at any point sure that we'll get the 3 points, it's very, very similar to what we've seen under Otto Addo. If you look at the matches that we played, Portugal, we get back into the game, they overturn us. Against
South Korea,
we take a 2-goal lead.
We're sitting on tons.
It's very, very characteristic of what we've seen so far. Central African Republic, after we had played Nigeria, we went there, started a game well, they came back. So that confidence of even being able to hold leads is not there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the major challenge now because every game from now on, you see, and the FA2, you know you're struggling to win matches. Go and pick a friendly with some Sao Tome. Just win a game. Win a game. Let the boys feel how it feels to win a match.
Yeah, boost your
you
confidence.
sit there, you don't plan your friendlies, and then by some chance, Morocco, Africa week, they come and choose you, you go.
Yeah.
You play Nigeria, you lose. Fair enough. But if you cannot be Uganda, then now I don't even know. Because going forward, between now and we're in 2024, between now and the World Cup, there's no space in the international calendar that you can play friendly matches.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the time to squeeze. It's going to be back must-win games. And now you see whether the timing of the Otto Addo appointment was right or not. And just to wrap up, the FA also stated that the last point in their the requirement for a head coach for the new head coach for the Black Stars was that they wanted a proven disciplinarian. Proven. And in fact, I'm hearing that's one of the reasons why they brought Otto Addo. In his first 2 games, 3 red cards.
Or maybe not
because of see, Thierry, someone here should tell me the last time 2 players in a team were sent off for dissent. How?
Yeah.
And I don't even blame, I don't blame the players because I blame the environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which environment are we encouraging in our camp? That players are a friendly game with so much anger. Is it coming from the fact that they cannot win games? Is Otto not able to command the team? It happened, Jerome Opoku. You said that, okay, you work on it. And then the next game, 2 players do it again. It's unacceptable. We don't see this anywhere. And if you say you are going for a disciplinarian, this alone on this basis should make you know that you've already made the wrong choice. Because under none of our coaches in the past did we ever see a player being sent off for dissent. Do you know what it means to be sent off for dissent?
Yeah.
The level of frustration that the player must feel. Is it the fact that we're not winning? Is it the fact that we're not good enough?
You are frustrated in the friendly
More
match.
red cards.
It's just the friendly.
They are not
friendly
good
match.
And what annoyed me the most of that, one of the matches, it was a woman referee.
Yeah.
And Alidu said you kept on attacking the
Even after the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which anger? What is going on in the camp? What is really going on in
What are
that
they
Black Stars
telling the
camp?
players?
Exactly.
What are they telling the players? Because and you see, that's the thing. If you try to start a siege mentality, try to get remove the players away from the major actors of the Black Stars, one of the major actors are the fans. If
Exactly.
you try to remove them from the fans, this is what happens.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Continue playing behind closed doors. If you don't win, the players will still be agitated. They'll keep insulting referees.
Yeah.
They'll keep getting red cards.
Exactly.
That's what will happen.
The Black Stars will always incite anger, will always incite some sort of negative energy and emotion. But of course, it's because of the level of performances and also the results that we've been churning out in recent months. It's been bad. I mean, let's not lie. Let's not kid to ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. It's been bad. And I'm saying this because, yeah, we qualified for the World Cup. And Oreko has said, in different pockets that qualifying for the World Cup may have done the Black Stars a lot more harm than good. And the reason I agree is, I mean, you look at the financial point, you look at the exposure, you look at everything, and you can count the positives, right? But you're looking at a team that weren't doing too well before the World Cup. I mean, we drew against Ethiopia, for Christ's sake, when we should have won, knowing that if we won, we stood a better chance of qualifying for the World Cup. That plus several other results in the build-up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Then for some reason, the whole nation came around, galvanized the team. We were able
Even
to
look at that AFCON performance.
we were able, the AFCON before, yes, and then we were able to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Some good spells during the tournament in Qatar. Then afterwards has been a lot more disastrous. And dreams have equalized. It's 1-1.
Nice.
That will go we so desperately wanted. We've gotten it.
It's an entry.
Yeah. Some positive news. We like this. Dreams, their campaign this season is It's definitely inspiring. Anyway, so the Black Stars aren't doing well. We are not here chastising them for the sake of it. We definitely want them to do better. But unfortunately, the handlers of the team aren't helping matters. I can't wait for us to talk about dreams. We'll wait for the game to go on just a little bit and we'll come back to that. But for now, let's look at Mohamed Kudus. Because, yeah, a Black Star player, but for everything we love him for, it's not just because he wears a Ghana shirt. It's also because of everything else that he does outside of our shores. And this weekend was no exception. He scored a goal and created another. But West Ham lost still against Newcastle United because it was a really spirited performance by Newcastle. But I've looked at a number of goals Kudus has scored in the last 2 years, and Oreko, it's like a snapshot. Like, you don't expect the ball to leave his feet with that power and pace and precision, but that is the exact time it leaves his feet, and with the same power and precision we are talking about.
I think from the 2022-2023 season, I don't know what Heitinga taught him, but since then, his ball striking, his instincts. I think when he got about 17 goals with Ajax that season, he's just been a different player in front of goal. And
he's enjoying it.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying the responsibility that comes with it. And it's good to see him scoring goals and demanding of himself to score, because when he went about 5-7 games without scoring, he said he was very disappointed and all that. So it's good to see that from him. I just have a slight concern, because you look at the zone from which he scored the goal in.
Yeah.
Ideally, he shouldn't be there. Typically, he should have been on the left wing.
Yeah.
And I just think David Moyes is trying to force too many of his best duels at the same time. That, for instance, Kudus is taking the hit, because ideally Paqueta should be in that zone. He's playing the number 10. So he'll probably be in the striker, behind the striker role. Bowen is playing off the right wing that Kudus has become accustomed to. Now Kudus has to set up for the left wing. And people will say he should know how to play left, right. He can, but the angles that you can access as a left-footed player from the right compared to the left makes a huge world of difference. It's the reason why nobody ever played Messi on the left wing. Because as a right-footed player, the moment you open up and you move the ball to your left foot and you come inside, you're able to access a larger angle. You can do a lot more. You can go across goal. You can go far post. Once he's on the left side and he has to go to a stronger side, compare the angles there. The only thing he's moving away from goal. He can only put in a cross or try and shoot from there. But he just opened up an angle once he found space. So I just think that it's not that much of a concern at the moment. It's always going forward, because once again, Kudus was your best position, because this is your formative years. whatever you are playing now is what would define. Because if Manchester United want to come and buy a right winger, they wouldn't come and buy a player who has spent the season playing as a left winger.
True.
So that sort of clarity has to come in now. He's doing well wherever he's being put. Yes, he's a versatile player, good skills to have as a young player. But there needs to be some clarity as to where he's going to play, where he's starting games. And then I think that's the next level for him. But so far, so good. Already breaking a number of records. He's 7 Premier League goals. Remember, to reach the top 5 for the Ghanaian list, all-time top scorers in the Premier League, he just needs three more to match Asamoah Gyan's. And he's having a very similar season to what we saw with Asamoah Gyan, where the whole world was talking about him. So it's good to see him do that. It's just unfortunate that West Ham have not kept that momentum going. But individually, I think it's been a very good season for him.
It looks like Dreams have a shout for a penalty. If that is given, because VAR
is this a penalty?
If that is given, then
that is an outstretched arm.
Well, yeah.
I think he's been
referee
called.
Says,
yeah, it's probably good.
Referee says no.
No,
he's going to look at the screen.
Oh, he's going to look at it, rather.
Yeah. But I think that is an outstretched arm. It should be a penalty. There's no point unless it looks like the players.
Once he's been called, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
Anyway. So let's focus on the English Premier League. We'll come back to Dreams, like I said. So West Ham United were dealt with by Newcastle, but Spurs beat Luton by 2-1. What a dramatic game that was. And then so we'll talk about two teams before we look at the big game today. We'll look at Brentford, Man United, and then we'll look at Chelsea, Burnley. Oreko, I know you've spoken, but I'll still stay with you on Chelsea, Burnley. Okay, so because of that, let me go to Yao to speak to the Brentford, Manchester United game. What a bizarre game it was, considering 2 very late goals.
This weekend I watch every other game but the Man United.
Why?
Game. Yeah, because I stopped watching Man United games. So
not interesting enough.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, it's always so ponderous. It's not nice. It doesn't make for great viewing. So,
but Ten Hag is getting the results some way somehow.
No, he's not getting results.
He's not. I mean, you look at the teams he's behind, and you know these are teams that are definitely going to get the better of him this season.
So you see, the thing is that after playing Liverpool, beating Liverpool at home, the expectation is that you progress from there.
Yeah.
But every time Ten Hag has had a good results, it doesn't look like a series
of bad results.
And that's the reason why I've actually not stopped seeing United games. But I think that with what the commentary that I read and all of that, I mean, how do you score in extra time, in injury time, and then concede in injury time? And I'm like, this is just Manchester United in a nutshell this season, and it doesn't. The thing is that I have tried consistently to be positive about United's fortunes this season, but it doesn't look like there's any positivity coming from anywhere.
Ebusuafo in the nsama ya de brownie ibini and ya de oye international football in a local football na ya de bro ya da waside inya ejembo na itumite nsama ya de bro na ya lokwa ya baka nsam kakra ya dafa oye Mohammed Kudus ho na sisia no Mohammed Kudus oli yaze papa oli jinizin dano West Ham na match na wo boy no Mohammed Kudus ugudolo bombazin na Olusegun Odemane club papa na waka da will break Asamoah Gyan record because Asamoah Gyan was an international player. His name was all over the place. Yeah, Asamoah Gyan and Nizin wo baby bia lo bonizin sisi aso yehwe pa de Muhammad Kudus obutum we break Asamoah Gyan no record. Yeah, in some way the bro ni bini na fi so in some the bro Ghana Football Association for Otto Addo no one some na Ghana Black Stars. Yeah. Ebusuya yɛbɛpɛdɛ do comment but to comment section na say Otto Addo obutum ɔde nsesa ɔdaba Ghana Black Stars ana untum mfa nsesa mba Ghana Black Stars so obutum de nsesa ba Ghana Black Stars na no for winkyeremu photo comment section na say kyerɛ wadwen kan nsama Otto Addo obutum waye edafa Ghana Black Stars ebusuafo yesi yebepede ebe share yene page na amehem na afi so like page no ebusua yankeche no yedo bisi ha oye yamene pia yes besan yedi agudie mu nsem da bla nsem bia olutwom gu iwo football mi biara no bobom gbazin na woso wonsa baka na enye bi na ahwe na etie bi na edaje ji weni ti yenu bisi heya yanko na edanu dura yebo sodo yakrawo bye bye.